Welcome back to the Noonchi Podcast. We haven't used this in a while, so we use the soundboard.
And on top of that, like,
yeah.
but our energy isn't always ever that high. So that's why it's so funny
it's
to
so contrasting.
Yeah. Why do we have
Just
it?
like,
But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Noonchi Podcast. We have a special guest here today. He is a singer. He is used to be a TV host in many shows. He is the one and only John Park, or as the Koreans call him, Jombak.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you how do you want us to call you? Do you want to call you Jombak or
John's fine.
John? Okay.
Yeah, John.
Jombak.
okay.
All right. So John, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. Seriously,
of course.
We've been told that our listeners want us to have more guests, and then we say we're gonna do it, and we never
do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
The last guest we had was Min from Miss
Oh,
A.
yeah.
Min.
Yeah.
She speaks English.
totally, I thought she was Kyopo, but she's like Korean, and then
Oh, really?
she learned.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
She was good too.
Me too,
She's Wonsanji, South Korea, my friend. Made in the 대한민국. But
Wait,
John,
so you guys are doing work on the guest list.
Yeah, we're trying to
Awesome.
be more responsible. Like we've been doing the podcast for 2 years now. This podcast specifically for 2 years, but there's so much more we can do with it. But we're just two lazy old motherfuckers. So
yeah, we're lazy. But John, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm curious, like if any of our like listeners know of John. You know what I mean? Like,
because they're just as old as us, and like I don't know,
our fans are like 존나 늙었어, right?
I
Like,
see.
So John, he is a singer, musician.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I caught wind of him when I was in America, and I had this phase of watching Korean stuff in the US, and I was like, yo, who is this Korean American dude, like being all sexy and shit on these singing shows.
Yeah.
And then it happened to be John Park. So
Even before that, the American Idol.
Yeah, if your listeners are old as we are, I'm sure.
That's right.
I'm sure you've
John's
heard
not
of
that young.
American Idol, right? I was on that show in
Season
2009, I think.
that was a while ago.
Yeah.
holy shit.
No, it must have been around then. Maybe season 9 or something. I was top 20, and then got kicked off and came to Korea to audition for another program.
Right away, was it like
After a year,
after a year?
after 1 year break, I came here, auditioned, and
Was
I've
it
been here ever since.
was it somebody told you to come out here, or you were like, I need to get out of, I need to get
I
out
got
of
an
here.
invite
Okay.
from the writers of the show.
Okay.
So they invited me to audition. It wasn't like a free pass or anything.
Okay.
But
They
They were just like, we have this thing in Korea. We saw American Idol. We'd love it if you came and sang. And
You got 20th place on that too.
coincidence. And it was just like, I never really had plans to do music. But it was just, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Why not? For fun.
So what do you mean you never had plans to do music? I mean, obviously you were good enough or you enjoyed it enough to audition for American Idol and come here. So
Right.
like what was the how do you say? What made you started in this route?
I always loved music and singing ever since I was little. So I was in a cappella groups doing choir, and I actually majored in voice in college.
Okay.
I was in a dual degree program. But after 6 months of studying classical, I was just like, this is not for me.
Classical. What's classical?
Opera.
Oh, opera.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Shoot.
So I did that. I auditioned. I got in. But when I got to college, it was like I was a small fish in a big pond. All
Okay.
of a sudden,
Okay.
Like in high school, I was pretty good.
Yeah.
But in college, there were these kids who just studied classical
Yeah.
voice like all their lives, and I was like, I'll just study. It's fine. And so I dropped out of the music school and just continued singing with my a cappella group.
Okay.
And American Idol and Superstar K in Korea was just for fun.
Okay.
It's like, why not try?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just worked out.
For the opera stuff, do you have any footage of you singing opera, anything like that out there?
Not on YouTube. It's at my house.
A baritone?
I have DVDs that my mom kept.
That's worth the money right there.
Yeah.
We can we should get that.
And they're rare items.
You should sell it as NFTs.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
That's not a bad
pretty
idea.
good. Yeah, that's good.
So you came to. How long have you been in Korea for?
I came in 2010, so it's been 12 years now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Around the same time.
I came
you
2011.
Yeah.
So a year after you.
Right.
Dang.
But you came and went straight into the show. Then you were not like here and then like you didn't have an apartment or anything like that or
No,
like a place. You were just
I came here. I was living in like a shit place for a couple months just to bide the time until the real auditions began.
okay. Yeah.
And when the auditions began, I was just like with the crew,
Other people.
on
the show.
Yeah, my life just kind of streamlined into the
Okay.
music business, and I
Did you come out alone from the States?
did. I came alone, but when I started working here, my parents moved out here as well.
Oh, awesome. Okay. And they're still out here.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
My
Cool.
family's here.
So how was it adjusting here? Because like obviously both of you are my
Oh man.
Korean life 선배님s, right? Because like I've been here for now 5 years now, right? But you guys have more than doubled that, right? So in terms of, I mean, I asked you before we started recording. You've been here for 12 years, and John's Korean is fairly fluent. I mean, it's way better than mine.
I think it's better than my English right now.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
for sure.
crazy. That's crazy.
Do you feel sad that your how do you say, your ability to speak English is
Deteriorating.
Yeah.
Not sad, but it's it just happens. I never get to speak it.
Yeah.
I'm always speaking Korean. Every once in a while, I'll FaceTime a friend from the States and we'll talk in English. And as you can tell right now, I'm
losing words.
Exactly.
Yeah. Same here.
It takes a second to find that word that I need.
Totally.
I mean, I've caught myself saying aircon.
Yeah.
And right, and people are like, well, what the fuck you just say? Yo, man, it's hot, man. We gotta turn on that aircon.
You should join our podcast. Most of it's us just trying to find words in English that we used to know.
Tons on fucking
How do you say this in English? Yeah, it's
soda water. So
yeah, but when you came here 5 years ago, like so much has changed. Like even 10 years ago, like forget about it. Like when I came here, I couldn't find pizza. Like a decent burger or a decent
food
pizza.
wise.
Yeah.
Right.
Food wise, it's gotten much better. Even 5 years ago, I would say you came at a great time. Like,
I mean, you know, like
less to want.
like because when he first moved here, like I came to visit literally like 3 weeks after he moved here, just to not to check up on him, but like to see how Bobby's doing, really. And I remember like eating the Western food here, and most of it was boo boo, right? So now a lot of things have gotten better. Speaking of food, because you were based in the Chicago area, do you have a Chicago versus New York pizza battle in your soul still?
I'm a very peaceful person. And
good answer.
And I love all pizza.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
I love all pizza. I love my Chicago deep dish.
Yeah.
Lumalnati's is the best.
I've been there.
In my heart.
Delicious.
Yeah. But
And
in
Korea, they don't have a good Chicago deep dish pizza yet, right?
Yeah,
that's something that's lacking.
Yeah. True. But like, I know New York pizza's the best. But in my heart,
Okay.
Chicago pizza's in there.
Okay.
But if I were to choose one pizza to have for the rest of my life, it would be New York style.
Oh man,
Okay.
this is exactly what we need on the show. Controversy.
Yeah.
So the comment sections it's gonna just start to fire up.
Chicago. I know the title. Chicago native John Park.
Yeah.
Says New York pizza's
Oh
better.
man, you just lost some fans too. You just lost some hometown fans. I was just kidding.
Yeah. I love Illuminati's, but
I feel like it's just two different categories.
yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I
they're
mean?
different foods.
You know,
one's a cake.
Come on.
Oh,
It's a different.
it is. Right.
It's an absolutely different type of food. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Chicago. Dude, you know what? Personally, I mean, I'm from LA, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my third favorite city in the United States is Chicago.
Third favorite.
Third.
Yeah. Second is Hawaii.
Okay.
Oh, and
Yeah,
New
that's
York.
pretty good.
I thought okay. Shit.
Fuck New York.
New York.
Take your rats and fucking.
I'm from New York, so Danny and I this podcast is about balance, right?
Yeah,
And we're trying to balance the force,
Yeah.
right? So there's good and evil.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's-
Take your Timberlands and fucking kick rocks, motherfucker.
What?
New York's my favorite.
Yeah.
Second is LA.
Okay.
Third is Chicago.
Oh shit. Okay. All right.
Yeah, my hometown is getting the shit today.
I know.
But
Actually, I'm really curious because we talk about like trends that we grew up with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Doc Martens, like was an East Coast thing for sure, but I don't know. On the West Coast was like British Knights or
No, well, Doc Martens was worn by like a specific, like
goth.
like a specific group, right?
Uh-huh.
Like in LA, people didn't wear Timberlands. You know, they wore more like Nike Cortezes, Air Force Ones.
Chicago was probably like Jordans.
can I ask
Uh-huh.
which year you're talking about?
Oh,
This is
yeah.
like this is when you were in school, right?
Oh my
Like
God.
when you're in high school.
That's right. I sometimes forget
Which
how
year
much
is that?
older. So I was in junior high school in the early 90s.
Early 90s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Early 2000s.
hmm
How about you?
I went to high school. I graduated high school at 2000.
Okay. So like pretty
Yeah.
similar in like the 10-year
We're
period.
each Olympic apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. He saw one more Olympic than me.
My close 형들 wore Timberlands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Timberland.
Maybe it was because it's cold weather footwear.
Yeah, Chicago is
Yeah,
cold.
definitely.
man.
Yeah.
Plus, they have that wind chill. It's like, it's weird out there. I went to school out there for one semester. I went to Wheaton College.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And damn, I went there during the winter semester. And I thought New York was cold. Like Chicago it's
A little
fucking
colder,
cold.
yeah.
I got out of there after one semester. It was just too much for me.
You know why I like Chicago? Like I experienced, I don't even say racist, but kind of racist comment that made me laugh.
Okay. What was that?
So it was long time ago. I was performing for Collaboration Chicago.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, I know that show.
yeah, and then we were walking down, is it Maxwell Street where all the hot dogs are?
Yeah.
So we're walking down, and it's kind of like late at night and stuff. And it was me and at the time the Far East Movement guys, right? So they performed, and so whatever. And then this is before like a G6 or whatever. They were just kind of like Asian American famous, right?
Yeah.
And so we're like walking down Maxwell Street, and you know how like they at the time they were all dressed like what they portrayed and shit.
Were they hipsters at that time?
So basically, some dudes were like chilling there, like eating a hot dog, going, "Oh shit, it's the Jabberwockies, yo!" right? And I was like, "Yeah, go fuck yourself," right? You know, or like, and then I remember without them, I was walking somewhere, and some dude was like, "Hey, Hadouken," and I went, That's hilarious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like racist, but I wasn't like offended by it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think that's like a very Chicago thing too,
Yeah.
because New York and LA, you already see so many Asians, and like that shit's like
Yeah.
like racism takes on a very like real form in those cities.
Yeah.
But Chicago, they're still not used to Asians, so it's like very like, hey, Bruce Lee, like 유치한 type of.
I felt a lot of that at Wheaton too, because it was in the boondocks basically. And I do remember. I kind of like tucked it away deep down inside, but like I did get some like I remember I did know some Korean. There was Korean people at Wheaton too, and I got to know them. But some of them were from the area. They grew up in like Naperville and stuff, like these very, very white towns. And so it was my first time really experiencing like a different kind of, you know, like New York, everyone is very multicultural. You know, there's racism there, of course, but it's a different kind of feeling. Like, it's kind of like it's like that Dave Chappelle thing. Like, God damn, that was racist. Like, you don't even get mad. You're just like surprised. Like it's, but.
So you guys come here, John. You've been here for 12 years now, and were you Korean, or I mean, meaning like how was your language? How was your culture? Your how do you say, man? I think it's contagious. This lack of Korean.
It's just speaking Konglish.
English.
So like was it mad oseke or like when you got here? How did you adjust?
I was very much American once I got here. I was always American because I moved to Chicago when I was in the 4th grade and lived pretty much all my life there. So when I got here, my Korean was terrible. But right off the bat, I was on TV and talking with Korean people.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to look like I wasn't assimilating at all. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to show my best efforts to learn Korean and speak it well.
Yeah.
So I invested a lot of my time in the first year in learning the language.
Okay.
And hanging out with as many Koreans as possible.
Yeah.
I think on purpose, I threw myself in the Korean crowd instead
smart.
of looking for a comfortable pocket of Korean Americans.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
As soon as I moved here, I lived in Itaewon for 3 years. So essentially, I didn't need to learn Korean.
And I think that's like the very standard route that
a lot of foreigners do. Yeah,
exactly. And that just makes sense. But I think my job made me kind of like go to Korean boot camp.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good too. It's like a form of respect too from your peers and everyone in the industry that you're not just here to take Korean jobs. Like,
that's a phrase that a lot of us kind of hear.
I mean,
in the course of time, but
like for us three, our jobs is not about we're taking a Korean person's job, right? Because like music is music and comedy is comedy, right? So like I mean, them giving me a shot because I'm Korean American versus someone who's as good, if not better, that's just Korean. I don't know. It's different. Like versus like, you know, let's say like an office job or you know, things like that. When I did a search on you, John, to research about, hey, what the hell am I going to ask John Park, right? One thing that came up and I was like, I need to talk to you about is I need you to evangelize to me the gospel of Pyongyang Naengmyun.
Religion,
right?
Yeah.
Because let me give you my background.
Okay.
Right? Like I've had not just Pyongyang Naengmyun, but I've back in LA the naengmyeon. There was no Pyongyang Naengmyun. It was all like that.
Shik naengmyeon.
Yeah, the Yucheon Ching Naengmyeon, which like the flavors are like. It's more powerful. It's more in your face.
Sweet, salty, sour, spicy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I come here, and then he goes, "Oh, dude, I love Pyongyang Naengmyeon."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, totally. Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right.
Okay.
Like he won't listen to me.
So he was like, all right. So I was, let's go. Fucking let's go.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say not go.
Yeah.
So I had it, and I went. I thought it was a prank at first. Like I thought I was like, yo, like
Sure.
this is
That
not
could happen.
what I expected. You know, like there is a hint of flavor. Like the flavor was a secret. It's not loud. It's just like 육수. right. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? And then on top of that, you know, I'm told that people that are like hardcore Pyongyang Naengmyun fans don't put vinegar or the what do you call it? The
mustard, the
gyeoja.
gyeoja.
Right. So, and then I see you on Korean variety shows for many years saying that Pyongyang Naengmyun is life and music is just your job. Right? And I go, what the fuck is going on with that? That's hardcore, bro.
Yeah,
that's
I
hardcore.
totally get it. I totally
you feel that
believe
way too?
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
But my wife doesn't get it either. But she's Korean, so I know this is just like it only cool people like it, basically. Only like So
Okay, so Pyongyang Naengmyeun.
Yeah.
Only cool people like Naengmyeon, sure. But I think the reason many people don't accept Pyongyang Naengmyeon is because exactly what you said. They're used to the sweet, salty, the very exciting flavors of the naengmyeon that we know.
Right.
After we have like barbecue. You know?
Yeah.
I've had many American friends who are not Korean visit me, and I'll take them to Pyongyang Naengmyeon place, and every single one of them love it because they've never had the sweet and sour naengmyeon.
Oh, really?
They
That's
know
interesting.
naengmyeon to just be this cold noodles that's kind of bland but refreshing. There's like a hint of like beef broth and like something very refreshing about the radish kimchi. And they just eat it up. And they when they return, that's like one of the first food that
That's
they
crazy because I've always been too afraid to take people that are visiting because I don't want them to hate me.
Right.
You know, because like I have only a few opportunities to try this, you know, like, and so for me, it's too big of a gamble. I thought
see.
because I know it's too many people that don't like it. But that's a good point. The
It's
people, it's a Korean people or
preconception of naengmyeon that
yeah.
we have
Yeah.
that's making Pyongyang Naengmyeon hard to accept.
So I mean, obviously when you guys first had naengmyeon,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that you guys had non-Pyongyang naengmyeon.
Yeah, for me.
And so
All my life.
So now that your taste buds are adjusted to good naengmyeon,
Yeah.
and then now you get like watered down naengmyeon. I don't know, Pyongyang naengmyeon, like that's like less in your face flavor.
Well, I'll still eat the naengmyeon that I grew up with. I'll still have that, you know, like I won't like say no to it.
Okay,
It's different food. It's like Chicago pizza and
so
New York pizza.
so 10 times out of 10,
Yeah.
would you if you had the choice of Pyongyang versus non-Pyongyang?
I guess it depends on like where I'm going.
Yeah.
If the restaurant, if I'm going to have naengmyeon, I'm always going to a Pyongyang Naengmyeon place. If I'm going to have Korean barbecue, I'll just go to a good barbecue place and get whatever naengmyeon they have.
Yes.
And it's like, if I were to have a preference, it is Pyongyang Naengmyeon.
Sure. Me too.
But after barbecue, it's like you want that like
Whatever you got,
sour-ass
just get
naengmyeon, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love all kinds of naengmyeon. Like I love all kinds of pizza.
So do you have like I mean, obviously, John, for you probably have your own rules on. I mean, I saw it on your own channel actually. I think it was your manager or whatever.
Yeah, I see.
And then that dude, like he threw the kimchi on the noodle.
Yeah, he dipped the kimchi in the broth, which kind of made me
and I could see I could see him go, oh, what are you doing, right?
Right.
I mean, I know.
That's like pineapples on pizza for you.
Yes.
He hates pineapples on pizza.
I see.
I'll eat it, but I will never order it on my own. Right. You know.
Okay. Yeah, I have my own rituals when I eat naengmyeon.
Yeah.
Sure.
But
it's like sacrilegious to.
so okay.
do certain
I guess my question was this is because I I'm genuinely open to be friends with anybody. But if that person does not drink, I know that we cannot be close friends.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Do you have that same relationship with naengmyeon?
No. Not at all. No. I'm a very peaceful person. I'm open to all opinions and all kinds of tastes.
Yeah.
I respect people who order Hawaiian pizza. And I respect people who order Korean pizzas that have like bulgogi and like cream cheese on top and like brie cheese. Like, I don't know what's going on, but like,
so what if that motherfucker, you guys are eating Pyongyang Naengmyun, right? And the guy gets like the vinegar and he just looks it in your eyes and he goes, and he does it like,
it's fine.
Yes.
Just, I'm not going to have it that way. You have your food however you like it. But to me, like, my opinion is they went through all, like, they go through so many steps to make that broth as clean and pure as possible. Why would you add vinegar or mustard to, like, have all those flavors just muted and just be dominated by sourness?
Yeah, it is a little bit insulting to the chef, right? Or to the person that.
Now I'm curious because it's called Pyongyang Naengmyun. I'm sure that in North Korea they just call it naengmyeon, right?
Right.
And do they also how does it taste? Plus, do they add vinegar and the mustard?
You know,
so this is interesting.
Get a dictionary.
The naengmyeon in North Korea is actually sour, and they put vinegar in and mustard. That's like the old school North Korean style.
Okay.
I know some people who went to Ongyugan, which is like the North Korean restaurant, and they'll serve Pyongyang. And most of the time they'll like drink the broth and pour the vinegar on top of the noodles.
Okay.
And I think that was tradition because of like the way of, I don't know, like it's something to do with like hot and cold food.
Okay.
You know, very like Asian, like food. What do you call it? Like food knowledge.
We're definitely gonna call this brain fart.
Yeah.
For English, Korean, like you're
Exactly.
trying to like.
But when the naengmyeon came to Seoul, it became another food like Chicago pizza. And the broth became very bland and not sour at all. And it's just a different type of food. It's called Pyongyang Naengmyun here, but it's more like Seoul Pyongyang Naengmyun.
Okay, yeah.
It's different from the original.
That's interesting.
Right.
The like most people describe the broth as like bath water. In Koreans, they call it like or karre.
Like a dish, like they wrung out and they cleaned a rag.
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah.
And I get that. The first time I had it, I thought I was getting pranked too.
Okay.
Because I was like, oh, this is for real? Like, did I get a bad batch or something?
Right. It doesn't taste like anything.
And so the first time I was like, oh, I'll just be respectful. And what's his name? Sungwoo, this lead singer of No Brain.
Oh, yeah.
He took me to a
I
place.
see.
I think it was like Mapoyak or Gongdak around there. And then I tried it and he was like, do you like it? And I was like, yeah, it's okay. I just didn't want like, yes, it was there.
Jesus
and then,
Christ.
But then I was like, I really wanted to fit in, you know, and like just understand why someone would like this. So I gave it another try. And the second time I understood it better. And then by the third time I was hooked.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, I think like number one, I don't think I went to like the places that are known for having like the best Pyongyang Naengmyeon in town. So that is maybe one thing. But I remember the first time I had it, I almost raised my hand and said, Imo, you forgot some shit.
Oh, yeah.
Something you forgot
like,
some
can we
shit.
get another plate of mandu? Like, there's a mandu, at least I could eat that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to blow up your spots in Korea, your secret naengmyeon spots, but
there are so many now.
Will you go to do you have your places to go?
It depends on the neighborhood, I'd say. Like if wherever I'm closest to, I'll go.
You know your place.
So in Gangnam, it's like 진미,
Jinmi. That's my favorite. Yeah.
Pyongyang
Yeah.
Naengmyun is okay.
Damn.
And
don't
then
know
over to Pangyi, like on the east side, Bongpyang. There are many Bongpyangs, but only the Pangyidong Bongpyang is.
I've only scratched the surface, it seems.
And then Gangbuk up north, there
Yeah.
are so many places that I could recommend.
Is there like a Pyongyang Naengmyun like group, like a community of
I'm sure there
of
is.
people that go this is all we eat, right?
Oh,
and,
a cult?
and fuck all y'all that like.
I bet you there's a
Yeah.
Facebook group.
I think there is
Probably.
one.
Right.
Yeah, I think I've been invited to be like the
Oh, yeah.
chairman. I was like, this is too much.
But,
I love Naengmyeon, but
But Koreans generally know that you like and love Pyongyang Naengmyun. Right?
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
So do you ever show up to these places and they're like, you get it on the house because you're spurting the good news? Like,
oh yeah.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
happened. That happened before.
Uh-huh.
I went to this one like really old school place with my 선배, and he'd been going there for like 30 plus years. And when I showed up, he received. We got 서비스,
Right.
free food.
Yeah.
For the
And
first
he
time.
never seen it his entire life. And
Where is this place? What are you doing for dinner after this?
This was Ureo, which is like
Ureo,
old
yeah,
school.
Yeah.
That place is
and they
good,
never
yeah.
there are always celebrities there, and like
Yeah.
they never give out free food. But they were like, 존박 씨가 여기.
Yeah.
And they were
Oh,
free
man.
bulgogi.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Free bulgogi.
yeah, bulgogi is expensive.
That's
and
why you get famous. Yeah, that place is by Gyeongbuk. That's north of the river.
중구, yeah.
That place is good.
No, but like, do you have? I don't want to say pressure, but like. I mean, this is a little different, but like, let's say you are the spokesperson for quitting smoking, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're all on TV. Everyone's like, that's the guy that's telling everybody to quit smoking. And then you get caught smoking a cigarette, like by whatever. Like, I'm trying to think
That's
of.
considered a scandal.
Yeah.
right, in Korea.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a Naengmyeon-centric incident where
where-
people go, this
That would be
motherfucker
like-
is
Will you not be
cheating on-"
caught dead eating like just like naengmyeon from
like
a
불냉면.
Yeah. Like,
Right.
yeah, just like,
Spicy.
you know what I mean? Like, because, I recall again in one of the interviews that I saw that you actually like plain, not like super flavorful food. Like even
Yeah.
your favorite slice of pizza, according to that video, was plain old cheese pizza.
Yeah.
Right. So, is that due to the fact that like a lot of Americans are not cool with like super spicy, the range that we go to?
I think I just like the basic, like
yeah,
whatever's just in their purest form.
sure.
So pizza,
Yeah.
it's got to be just like cheese or pepperoni.
Okay.
Burgers,
Simple.
I don't like, a
Same.
lot of condiments or like
Same here.
bacon. I just want meat, cheese, sauce, maybe.
Yeah.
We're
maybe some
we're like
onions.
we're soulmates
Yeah.
in that way. Even when I eat sarangtang, I don't put salt.
Yeah.
Like I love things like
Ooh.
you do.
Oh,
the salt,
dude,
right? So-
my shit turns out red. Like when you look at my bowl, right? I'm throwing the kakdugi in there. I'm throwing all that other shit in there. Even with
Yeah.
like pho,
pho.
you know what I mean? Like some people,
Yeah.
Put in all that.
Oh, pho's a little
stuff, yeah.
different.
no,
Yeah.
pho.
I'll put the what do you call it? The
Cilantro.
oyster sauce and
Yeah.
a little bit of sriracha in there.
No,
too.
because most
Yeah.
people I see like their broth color is similar to the way it came out, right? Like when they're eating it.
Yeah.
Mine turns into like,
Oh, yeah.
did this motherfucker order jampong? Like, what the fuck? Why is it so red? Right? Like, but
Yeah.
maybe it's unfortunate that like I am so used to my tongue being like, yo, you need like hot, spicy, like you need whatever.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a matter of me trying to train myself to try to understand the delicate flavor profiles. You know what I mean?
Well, you grew up Danny grew up in East LA and was surrounded by mostly a Latino community. So you grew up with not burrito, like tacos and burritos,
Yeah,
right?
Mexican food, right?
Which tends to be spicier, more flavorful, right? And there's not any muted flavors.
Barely.
right?
I mean, like some of the soups might be a little bit more like less, depending on
Like menudo.
yeah,
and like,
depending on the harmony that makes it, like
Oh,
whatever. But like cilantro, for example, is an acquired taste, right? Some people just
love it or hate it.
fucking hate it, right?
Yeah.
My mom hated it,
Uh-huh.
but then my mom, when she got lazy or she didn't have energy to cook, she'll just give me money. Like, yeah, taco sawa, right? And then I'll go and get like 50 tacos for the whole family, right? And they'll eat it. And then she just got accustomed to the cilantro to now, like when you go home and, when you make like samgyeopsal and you're eating samgyeopsal, they make like pamuchim.
Yeah.
Yeah. She don't make pamuchim anymore.
Cilantro mushi.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
so she's turned into that. So
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe I too will like Pyongyang Naengmyun.
It's possible. Like even cilantro, my wife hated it, but I turned her. So much now, and her family, like her dad hated it too, but now he eats it. Whenever we have samgyeopsal at home and we have the sam and all that stuff, we also have cilantro as something we put in the.
And I feel like Korean cilantro is a little weaker tasting than back home.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, people's tastes change, I feel like.
and on top of that, like how you jokingly said that only the cool people like Pyongyang Naengmyun.
I'm half joking.
I want to feel cool, guys.
We're not far from Jinmi.
Yeah,
It's
very
in
close.
walking distance. We should go there for lunch during work.
And many
spread it out.
people have come up to me like you, Danny, and like, 평양냉면 도대체 무슨 맛이에요? Like, why do you eat it?
Right.
Like, where am I supposed to go to get that experience? And I've taken a lot of people to like the good spots, and I've seen people try it for 5, 6, 7 times and still not get it, but they get it on like the 10th time, or like a year
takes
later
a
they're
while.
like eating it. They're like, oh, I figured it out. Like after a night of heavy drinking, like one morning I just had to have the broth. And
That's
people
it.
just-
That's what it is. Like you crave it. That's
there's
something.
a moment.
Like there's certain foods that you love, but you don't necessarily crave all the time. Like I'll have craving for this broth.
Yeah.
Like
The reason why I understand, I still have hope for me possibly understanding or enjoying or craving Pyongyang Naengmyun is that there's something that I crave every now and again in Korean food, which is Busan bultteok.
Okay.
It's literally like a big ass karatteok,
Yeah. Yeah.
in oden gukmul on a stall.
Yeah.
It's very similar to Pyongyang.
Right, and then you might get the, what do you call it? You have like that brush that you throw in the kanjang
Kanjang.
vinegar or whatever mix, right? And you eat it, right? It's not that strong of a taste,
Subtle.
and the texture is just fucking bloated as duck. And I eat it going, what? I remember first time I ate it, like I was like, what the fuck? Why? What? Really? Because you're like, 형, 부산 오면 이거 하나 먹어야 돼, right? I ate it and I was like, man, shut the what? Right? Take me to Amsogalbi where that shit's expensive and it's good, right? And then like I get back to Seoul in 2 days, I'm like, oh, I kind of want that shit. Like, but like, so in that way, I understand that I will crave it, but as of now, like I want it just. I don't know.
Man,
and now that the weather's getting hotter, like I think it'll be better. Like, can you do Pyongyang Naengmyun during the winter?
Yeah, it's actually better during the winter.
Really?
Oh, really?
Well, buckwheat harvest season is
Holy
winter.
shit.
So even in Japan, like
this
soba,
guy's for real, man.
like the scent of the buckwheat is strongest in the winter. They say you can never tell, but
Right.
just the quality of the naengmyeon is better in the winter. I feel like because it's so much more controlled. Like in the summer, it's like hot weather and humid, so like the noodles sometimes are kind of loose, bloated, and if there are a lot of customers, quality drops.
Yeah.
So in the winter, you get the best naengmyeon.
Oh, I did not know this. I'm learning.
See, we're this is Naengmyeon 101.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you were ever to open your own business, would it be a Pyongyang Naengmyeon place? Like you,
That would be ideal, I feel.
right? Yeah.
I'm not
You'd be
a
picky about the.
business type of person, I feel like.
But if you did, would you use your name because everyone in the country knows that you're so like, what do you say, knowledgeable? I was gonna say you're so fucking crazy about
call it
Pyongyang
the-
Naengmyeon, but like, you know what I mean?
No, that's kind of weird.
No, but
It
people
sounds so like.
no, but
I
I
don't know
think
if that would be good for business.
no, but I think people will be like, look,
They'd be curious.
we know that this dude is fucking serious about his Pyongyang Naengmyeon,
Yeah,
right? So he's not gonna put out bullshit,
Yeah.
right? So you know, like that, you know, what instead of some crazy ass name, that name is probably like,
Yeah.
you know, the best name if you made a.
I was actually thinking about it, like not to do it, but just fantasizing about it.
Uh-huh.
But I came to the conclusion it's such a, I feel like, low blow
A low blow too.
to use my name to sell naengmyeon.
Oh.
Like naengmyeon is, this is how much I love naengmyeon. I want to protect its integrity. I don't want to taint it with my like meme-ness, like my naengmyeon memes.
Wow.
There are people who dedicate their like generations of families who dedicate their life to this broth, and I don't want to like open or like sell, you know, packaged naengmyeon.
We'll find the right partner for you. If you find the right partner, to keep the integrity intact.
Yeah, if that's the case, then
that's
sure,
some that's some mad serious shit because like, you know, like if I was in his shoes, if I was in John's shoes, and like even there's some coworkers downstairs, right? I go, hey, 존박 이 오늘 오는데 궁금한 거 있어? And then they were like, 아직도 냉면 먹나 물어봐요. Right now, I was like, even these motherfuckers, you know, like like I feel like the majority of the people know you as someone who is obsessed with naengmyeon. Yeah. Right. And so if that's the case, then 존박 냉면, you know, will be 대박, right? But him saying, you know what, I don't want to taint the
and like that'll fade. Like it'll sell probably, but like how do you maintain that like quality and like naengmyeon is such a hard food to.
No, because there's definitely a community of, not a community, but there's definitely a like random pockets of groups of just like Pyongyang Naengmyeon fanatics. Yeah, like that I've even my trainer, you know. Yeah, like he was trying to evangelize me in just any kind of naengmyeon, right? But my gym is in Yeonnam-dong, so he's like, oh, let's go to Yeonnidong. You know, there's a few
there's some places
decent spots, too. Right? So I'm eating it, going, I don't get it, bro. You know, but
man. But once you do get it, like it becomes an experience. Like every sip to the last sip, like. If I feel like it gets better and better,
but also like
last,
but I hear you naengmyeon heads, right? Like use naengmyeon for hangover, like a hangover cure.
Yeah, I did that for a while when I first discovered naengmyeon. It was, you know how like you wake up hungover and you need water, or like a Gatorade or something like that,
right? Yeah.
For me, it was naengmyeon yuksu. And so I would drag my hungover ass to a naengmyeon place and just drink the whole thing and refill.
Nice.
Order a bottle of soju and 혼자. I'd eat it by myself and drink.
And it's like perfect soju food.
Yeah.
To man, my mouth is watering.
So so here's the other etiquette question. Question. Now, I used to be in this 소속사 with a bunch of comedians. And you know that show 맛있는 녀석들?
Yes.
Of the 4 comedians, 3 of them were in my 소속사. And so like I would talk to them a few times. And one of them has the philosophy that you should never cut your noodles.
Yeah, I think that's bullshit.
right?
Yeah.
What's the reasoning for that? I never heard that before.
No, like even when they give you naengmyeon, they give you kawi. Like she's like. And when someone tries to no, like
yeah. I never cut noodles with scissors. That's true, but like, I think it comes. I know what he's talking about, and that's more like a showmanship type of thing. On TV, you want to be seen slurping the whole strands of noodles.
Okay.
And that's kind of like a Japanese thing too. Like to cut your noodles is like bad luck, bad fortune.
Right.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I think when you're eating noodles, you're supposed to cut with your teeth. Because that's the whole point of eating noodles is that mouthfeel. You feel the texture in your mouth. And when you cut it with your front teeth, that's when you get that. And Pyongyang Naengmyun is the perfect food for it because the starch content is very low and buckwheat content is high. So you can chew it, unlike the very stretchy, stringy 고깃집 냉면 that we used to having. So I disagree with him on that point.
I don't know if he wants me to say this, but whatever, he doesn't speak English. During a 회식, he ordered naengmyeon.
Oh, you saw.
And then not only once, he cut into the naengmyeon like 100 times.
That same guy?
Yeah. And then he looked at me and was like, we were all kind of drunk, and he was like, "대냐, 이렇게 술안주를 먹는 거야." And then he gets a spoon and he just like they're like spoon naengmyeons. I was like,
Okay.
I was like, okay.
All right.
It's a totally different
That's a nice-
way
Yeah, but I wanted to be like, hey, motherfucker, like in every show that you eat any sort of noodles, you go, I don't cut these noodles.
But they're an exception for suranju.
Yeah. That's what he said. So I was like, all right, okay, whatever.
Yeah, that way you can share it, right? You can like, yeah.
So who was the first person like that brought you into the church of Pyongyang Naengmyeon?
Dude, we're still talking about this like over 30 minutes.
How many minutes
Are you
is
okay
it?
with this? This is cool.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, great. Okay.
Ijeok was the first. So the singer-songwriter Ijeok, he's in my label. He's one of my closest youngs. Yeah, he was the first one to take me, and I actually loved it the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this is so unique. It's very refreshing. And I just fell in love with it. And that was Pyongyang Naengmyun in Nonyeondong.
Oh, yeah.
Which is pretty close from here. That place is not...
Yeah.
It's not the business. Not
as good as it used to be right now.
I agree. Like it's by Ulchiro Byungwon Saguri. That one, right? Yeah.
I don't go there anymore. But
it's not bad. But like if I wouldn't take you there to convert you.
Yeah. People who have been going there for a long time know that it's changed. Like the taste has changed.
Oh, it used to be really good.
I used to go there all the time. But the chef moved out, and I think he's the one who started Jinmi.
Oh, really?
I think that's what happened. Yeah. But
Jinmi
it's like it's complicated.
Dang, you know what?
Jinmi.
Like, I don't know about you, but like our listeners, if they live in Korea, and if this talk doesn't get them to try to eat Pyongyang Naengmyeon afterwards, I don't know. They got no hope, dude. They got no hope.
Oh man.
So now that you've been here for a while, like, you know those like Korean foods that are, I'll call them like hardcore Korean food, like hongo, like 번데기.
hongo, 번데기.
Like how are you in terms of dealing with the hardcore foods?
Hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
I eat everything but 번데기. So I just have a thing with bug-looking things, I think.
You've tried it though before?
Yeah, I've tried it many times. Every time it's not for me. The texture, the smell, everything.
But you good with hongo? Like the
Hongo's fine.
sakjingo?
Yeah.
Really?
Almost fine.
Dang.
I told you I got used to it.
Yeah.
My father-in-law, my mother-in-law, they always have it in the fridge. Like they order in bulk.
Wow.
So like
It's definitely an acquired taste. I didn't love it at first time. It was like naengmyeon for me.
Yeah.
Hongo took me, I think, 3-4 tries to start enjoying it.
To be honest, I didn't get to try number 2 because try number 1, I got scared. I said, look at me, man. I don't get afraid of food, right? But Hongo punked me. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Because sometimes it just it hits you the wrong way. Like it just tastes like pneumonia or right? It's pneumonia.
Ammonia.
Yeah.
So, but like, for instance, if I need to have soju with it.
Same.
A soju tastes better after you eat it too. It's sweeter for some reason.
Do you have it just with that, or do you do it with the samap? So like both hongo and samgyeopsal at the same time?
I don't think I've had it that way.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It's like vanilla.
Yeah.
So,
sorry, I like the regular shit over here. There's 2 of these people over here.
I heard these things about like Korean ajashis, like they'll drink soju at a pyeonijam with just kimchi.
Yeah.
Right? And then I hit a certain age and I was like, I think it's time for me to at least try that. And I did it and I was like, totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think because I'm so influenced by my father-in-law who lives with me, and I see him do that, I almost feel like, I'm getting a fast track to be an ajashi. Like,
I see.
Fast track, you're already there, bro. You mad ajashi?
Yeah. So,
what are your thoughts on hunsul? Do you do it?
Oh yeah. I used to be a big drinker. I don't drink as much anymore, but nowadays I'll have a beer or whiskey or even wine by myself. Not like outside. Not as often.
Outside, yeah. Okay.
But at home.
yeah.
I have to say, man, like, I don't know if it's just me, but like, I get beer, I get wine, I get whiskey by yourself at home, a drink or 2. But like, soju at home by yourself.
Yeah, same.
Just that cream 자체가 it looks weird to me.
소주는 only with like a 국밥 or 탕. Like if it's a 국물, a broth, then I could have it by myself at home. Like if I were to order like sundaekguk, then I need to have soju. There are some foods that you need soju. And it's not about the honsul, it's about the food.
That's a good way to look at it.
So that's his, what do you call it? Parameters.
Yeah.
But
it's about the food.
I don't think I could do kimchi and soju like, in front of a pyeonijam. I think that's pretty
hardcore.
Yeah. I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Oh man. But Danny and I, one of our favorite pastimes is just doing the pyeonmek. So just going to pyeonijam and just sitting out on the plastic chairs and tables.
Then, like talking shit, but also like, like people watching is fun,
It depends where you do it, right?
Yeah.
And when I lived in Hongdae, I lived there for like 5 years. And when Danny first moved here, we would, do that a lot in Hongdae. Like it's a good place to do that.
Not anymore. We're too old to do that
Yeah,
at
not
Hongdae, man.
anymore.
They'll be like, what are these fucking 2 ajashis?
Yeah.
We just need the, what do you call it? The hiking, the 등산복.
Yeah.
Then we'd be way ajashied out.
Either that or the golf attire.
Yeah. I got the
club.
golf hat today. Before we turn on the cameras, John, I asked you like so what do you feel more Korean or more American? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, for me personally, maybe it's because I haven't been here as long. Like my Americanness, like it's still like a lot stronger,
Right.
than my Koreanness.
Yeah.
Like the only parts I joke around is about like the sometimes I feel Korean is that especially with the stand-up comedy scene, I'm the oldest, right? So I don't need them to like revere me or because I'm older, But like if a kid that's like 10 years younger than me, like just like straight up 반말, I'd be like, "Hey, motherfucker!" And that anger that I feel when he does it makes me, oh shit, I'm like Korean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There are 2 sides.
Yeah.
To everything.
Yeah.
I think for me, I'm very accustomed to Korea now. Like all of my the words that come out of my mouth, the behavior that I'm doing is very Korean. Everything's so Korean.
Your reactions
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
I feel awkward with Americans now.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel so much more comfortable with just like straight up Korean people. But when it comes down to my beliefs and like core values, I'm still very American. I think.
Okay.
And most of it comes from just being like, the reason why I think that is I believe in individuality and freedom. And I feel like in Korean society, that's something that's very lacking. Just accepting someone as who they are is it's hard.
Yeah,
in Korean,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And when it comes to those kind of values, I'm very American.
Okay.
Speaking of freedoms,
Yeah.
yesterday, kind of an issue of freedom of speech occurred where
Oh damn. Yeah.
where Chris Rock,
Oh yeah, we have to.
who was
We have
who
to
was
touch on this.
at the Oscars.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, and I don't know if you don't know, then what the fuck, you need to
Crawl out of your hole.
Yeah. But Chris Rock was presenting an award, and before he was presenting, he was riffing as comedians do.
Yeah.
And he told a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith, right? And Will Smith, who was next to her, did not like what he had to say, or maybe just didn't like how she had to feel about the joke. And he got up and he slapped the shit out of Chris Rock.
Oh man.
And then he sat back down and he's like, wow, that was a G.I. Jane joke. He was like, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
You know?
And he repeated it.
And he repeated it. Right. And
Oh
then
my goodness.
Just the way Chris Rock looked shocked, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
it was he didn't have any response at first. That's how I'm still feeling.
yeah.
Like, did that just happen?
I'm
What
still
just?
appalled.
It's like, yeah, right. It's like it's really hard to digest. It's
Now,
crazy.
I mean, I'm just like gonna start off by saying it's as a stand-up comedian by trade and as a comedian in this business, like you have the right to get offended by what the comedian said. That's human nature.
Yeah.
But you don't have the right to go up and slap somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether or not the joke was good or bad,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that's how I feel. I go. This is where the we've been talking for many episodes about political correctness and like how we need to be careful because of cancel culture and people getting offended and all this shit. And ultimately it boils down to, before it was just keyboard warriors going, I didn't feel good about that joke and he needs to get canceled. You know how many, like not recently, but like younger kids these days have been listening to Eminem's lyrics from back in the days, and they were trying to cancel him for all the crazy shit that he said. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And similarly with this situation, I go, whether or not you like the joke or not, you ain't got no right to fucking smack somebody.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was the first time I saw it. I was just like so shocked.
Yeah.
And, I just felt so bad for Chris Rock. Like, and the jokes he tells, I'm sure it's been like monitored and kind of like it's been checked off by the writers also. It's not like he's the one who kind of like, I'm going to tell this joke in front of them. And I'm sure he had some kind of pressure from the creators or the directors that, you have to take a stab at everyone at some point. And he just took one and he got
I almost feel like that joke though, like was on the cuff.
Like ad
because
lib, right?
she was in his eye line.
Yeah.
And it was just another thing he's tried at the moment.
Yeah.
So I mean, if I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, like maybe that could have been the case too, that it wasn't scripted, but because Jada Pinkett said she had a shaved head and he just went for the joke on, like, I don't know if that's the case
without knowing that she had that disease,
alopecia,
right?
yeah.
Or even if he did, you know what I mean? My point is that like I understand that Will Smith can get mad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like, dude, as a comedian, I've had plenty of people pissed off at the shit that I've said, right? But you can come to me after the show and be like, hey, man, I didn't appreciate that joke.
Yeah.
Versus making it okay to get up and try to hit me. Do you know there's videos of like people, there's an old video of a comedian with a guitar. And this heckler's like, yeah, I'm not afraid. He comes to the stage and the comedian turns the guitar around and smashes the dude's head. You know what I mean? Because to him it's self-defense, right? But and then I think this is maybe the generational thing that I see, is that I see a lot of people going, Chris Rock should press charges on Will Smith. And if it was Korea, like who punched first, usually there's a habigum involved or whatever, right? But I know from my generation, like if they were friends, definitely no pressing charges.
Yeah.
Even if they weren't friends, typically they don't press charges.
From our generation.
Yeah, from our generation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know in this generation, like that's an option that people even think that should be done.
I haven't completely thought about it.
Yeah.
But like my initial response to this is, I think clearly Will Smith fucked up, I think, but I don't think he really thought it through. Like people, you can't understand the pressure he was under. Like just, you don't understand like what we don't understand. I think he made a mistake. I think it was maybe a bad decision, but it was a split decision that he went with, and he's probably regretting. And he probably, I don't know his mind.
He actually posted
an apology.
Yeah. Directed to Chris, also just saying how he deeply regrets his action. It's not very indicative of the person that he wants to be. A day of self-reflection kind of just brought that apology.
Have you seen any good? Have you ever? I mean, obviously it's been memed to death already, right? But any good memes that made you laugh regarding the situation?
Man, I actually didn't find it that funny enough to like look for memes. I was just like trying to understand, or not understand, but obviously Will Smith made a mistake. But what kind of emotions do you have to go through to be able to get up on that stage and smack the shit out of the host of the Academy Awards? Like you gotta give him some kind of like
I know
room for error. You know?
I think that's because he laughed initially at the joke, right?
Yeah.
And then he saw his wife. And so everybody knows they have a very, very complicated relationship. So something that a look might have done it from his wife that triggered him, like in a way that he just lost it. And he didn't know how to handle it except for reacting the way he did.
It was almost like a self-defense, like he had to protect his family somehow from that situation.
Or if I don't do this, she's gonna kill me. I don't know. You don't know what it takes for someone of that, someone like Will Smith to get triggered and to snap. Maybe that's what it took. And so just to give him some sort of benefit of the doubt, but I'm not saying he's in, I'm not giving a pass really.
Yeah.
But it's wrong. Like what he did was wrong. That's a fact. Like you can't just smack someone because you didn't like what he was saying.
Right.
It's just like illegal.
And
you know?
and you know,
It's just like,
and then you can you know, like chalk it up to, you know, it was a bad joke. He was punching down. He was you know, like she's dealing with something that's, you know, like traumatic to her, and he's you know, shitting on that trauma, right? And so like that's not right. People say that, right? That's the argument. I go, I mean, you can feel that way, you know, but like a bunch of my comedian friends would like, they were writing messages like, some people were like, if you think Will Smith is right, then unfriend me now.
Oh,
like that kind of message, right? And I go, you don't need to unfriend me, just don't be involved in comedy. That's what I'm gonna say. I go, you you don't have to unfriend me. We can still be cool. Just don't come to the shows. You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't, you know, just watch whatever the fuck you think is funny at home. You know, because like, you know, that's the part where I want to say is that there's no, well, number one, I don't want to get slapped in the face, bro. I say some wild shit sometimes, you know, and people are going to just take it the wrong way, you know?
I think it's a learning moment too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are going to learn about boundaries, and like probably the Oscars, they'll have a gate now at the
right.
from
like
now
an
on.
electric fence.
Yeah, or you're not allowed on stage if you have hands.
Right.
Like I said, like,
Or you know, like random things I saw was like, well, I guess next year's host is going to be Mike Tyson. Right. To like, one thing I saw was like, why did Will Smith use an open hand? Is because paper beats rock. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like a lot of cute shit popped up, and all that. That's funny. I mean, again, violence is never the answer.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you know, like, you know, people could say that he was protecting his family, but there are other ways to do that in that situation. And you know, clearly he snapped. You know. But that doesn't make it right. You know what I mean? You know, one thing that you know, like in I don't know if this goes for in Korea, but in the US, you know, like if you plead insanity, you can practically get away with any law as long as you are legit fucking crazy. You could, meaning like you can kill someone, but I'm insane. And you're clinically, if the doctors diagnose you as that, then you're not going to get the full brunt of the law. And a part of me is kind of like, because of the fact that, like, you know, where's the line then? You know? And we don't want to get into this type of deeper law and whatever.
It's a totally different, another philosophical.
Yeah.
A lot of it's speculation. I mean, all of it is speculation now because everybody commenting on it, including ourselves, we don't know the full story. I don't even know personally if Chris Rock and Will Smith are friends. Like, I just assume that they are, that they've had dinners together, or they know each other's families and stuff. I don't know. But if I can assume they are, maybe there's reasons. That's why Chris didn't, you know, he decided not to press charges, because it's amongst buddies. You know, you could work it out between friends. Right. You know, Danny, if you know, if I ever smacked you, I would hope that you would like keep it between us, and we can, you know, just work it out amongst ourselves.
Keep your hands to yourself.
So, you know, I mean, maybe that's the case, you know, like, but also, again, to bring up the fact that Will Smith, I did see that apology. And he ended it saying, you know, I'm still a work in progress. Right. You know, that he's not perfect. And that's the one thing I'll give him. Like, he has to, if he came off justified and saying, I did it because, you know, you know, because you disrespected my wife, I have to stand up for her. Like, if that was the case, then fuck you. You know, like, you don't get a pass then. But I believe that he knows he did wrong, and he just acted wrong in that moment.
Yeah.
We're all human.
Well,
he's human. We're all human, right?
Well,
Yeah.
given the amount of press it's getting,
Yeah.
I think they should make G.I. Jane too.
Here's another thing. The bigger issue, I think, is I don't really believe in award shows, like the Grammys or the Oscars, because I think it really celebrates people with money. Like a lot of the people, whoever's getting best actor, it costs a lot of money to get them there. Their agents, it costs them clout, all this stuff that you wouldn't have gotten if people weren't fighting in boardrooms and stuff.
Unless you're like Meryl Streep or Daniel Day Kim, who are like, come on, like Meryl Streep's she's an amazing actress.
Yeah. No, sure. Like I don't want to take away anything from amazing actors and stuff. But a lot of it has to do with that. A lot of it has to do with campaigning and all that stuff. And it takes away the shine from the hundreds of thousands of other actors that are working just as hard every given year. Right. And so, but we're only giving flowers to the one person here, the one person there. Do we need that structure? So like we made this thing about the Olympics too. I say let Guinness Book of World Records just take over the Olympics, right? So it's more about like being
the best
breaking
ever.
records.
Yeah. Not
instead
just
of being the best
this year.
There's just so much anxiety and heartbreak and like people's lives being wasted like for little technicalities, right?
Yeah.
The same goes for award shows. Like in this case, I think Guinness Book of World Records should take the reins
who
for
had
the Oscars.
who had the longest crying scene of all time.
Now let's change it up.
John, I'm sure you've been to a few award shows in Korea. They don't look fun. Like, how is it? Like they look fucking boring actually, but like are they all right? Like
No. I mean, award shows are not. Maybe it's fun to watch, but to be in it's like even less fun. You know, like because everyone's just there to, look good and be celebrated. Exactly. Like, it doesn't really. Once I was part of an award show. That's when I realized, oh, this is all bullshit.
Oh wow, yeah.
Like watching it, you can never tell. Like, somehow it looks very like legit, and everyone, like who got album of the year? Of course, like they're probably like the top artists of our time.
Yeah.
But just being behind the scenes and being part of an award show made me realize, like, wow, this is just like
politic and
it's just like masturbation. And I won't say like which award show, but it just felt like, it's just cringe for me.
Okay. Yeah. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Because in my heart, I feel like that's how I would feel.
Yeah.
I've worked as a writer for a few award shows and just random stuff. I thought this was all nonsense. I mean, you know what I mean? I just do it just because of the pay, really. But there was one award show I went to where I'll tell you what, it was called like the Asian Excellence Awards.
Oh, okay.
Right? So it's like, think of it as like the coolest shit Asian Americans have done this year, right? So like Best Picture. And of the nominees, it was like Rush Hour 3.
What? Why is it? Why is Rush Hour 3 on?
No, it was that year where Rush Hour came out.
Okay.
But Best Picture, one of the nominees was Rush Hour 3. And I went, we need to do better, guys. Like, I love Jackie Chan. I love the movie. But this cannot be in the category of Best Picture. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all for, like, for example, like Asian Excellence Awards, I'm all for celebrating Asian excellence in Hollywood. Like, I'm all for it, right? But if you're big, like, you know, awards, we have to fill it in with that kind of shit, you know? Like, I remember, like, the most famous person there was, like, Steven Seagal and Quentin Tarantino. But Steven Seagal was, like, just a nightmare to be around. Yeah, Russell Peters. You know, and I go, I mean, those guys are great people. Let me rephrase. I like those people, but we need to do better if we're trying to be Asian excellent. We need to bring like all the stars at once. You know what I mean? And so like, you know, I've experienced like, this is cool, but
I don't mind those award shows. Like I like when you use the word celebrating, because like celebrating each other and, you know, giving each other like less pats on the back, but more like, you can do it. Let's keep doing. Let's keep going. You know, you gotta start somewhere, right? Because Asian Americans, they are finally getting a voice, but they're not fully there yet. Still, so you need to spend time with your fellow Asian American, I guess like,
yo, dude,
actors
I was one of the writers for. So you know, you guys heard of Def Jam, right? So they have the Def Jam Movie Awards, right? So it's basically like celebrating kind of black excellence.
Okay.
Right? And I was one of the writers there, right? And I am like writing bits for like, you know, Mike Epps that present, you know what I mean? Like whoever Mike Epps was the host, right? So I'm writing his whole like jokes here and there, whoever he's introducing next. And I'm watching this going like, this is pretty much the same as the Asian Excellence Awards, except this had like more stars. Like you're like, holy shit, like, you know, Snoop and Ice Cube are here. Ice Cube's son's here. Like, you know what I mean? Like all, like there were more, it felt like a more legit award show than the Asian Excellence Awards. And I go, we need to do better.
We'll get there. I mean, it's getting better. And that was probably like 10 years ago, right?
But
Asian Excellence.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever be a writer on those shows again because somebody's gonna get slapped. Like, you know what I mean? So
award shows, I don't know. They're sometimes fun to watch. It's almost like watching a cheer list, you know? Like
what list?
A tier list. Like a ranking,
tier list.
like this year's ranking of like, I watched the Academy Awards not to like watch the actors, but like, what movies were critically acclaimed?
What should I watch?
Yeah, what should I watch? And like even with like Grammys, you know, this album, I haven't heard of this album. Maybe I'll listen to it. It's more like a really good recommendation list for me.
That makes that makes a lot of sense.
But like award shows and nature of them, it's like it's very self gratifying and
there's a lot of
it's dirty.
Hey, question. You know how like all the big American award shows, they have like after parties.
Yeah.
Right. Like Diddy's throwing a party or whatever, or you know, some magazine. For Korean award shows, do organizations or like big people throw after parties? Let's talk pre-COVID. Yeah.
So the award shows that are held by the broadcasting companies for entertainment, music, and acting don't have parties. But the one after party I've been to was Mama, which is music award.
Mnet, right?
Yeah, Mnet's Mama. Asian Music Awards. And that's always held at like a different city.
it's
Sometimes it's in Seoul, sometimes it's in like Singapore, Hong Kong. And they'll like the company CJ will just have like a after party with just the Korean.
Okay. But it's not like the Vanity Fair party.
No, it's not very glamorous. It's just like a dinner thing, and you have to like 안녕하세요.
Oh, okay. That's not a party.
That's not a party.
It's like tea
Oh no,
very uncomfortable.
I mean, when they do like movie premieres and stuff, a lot of the after parties at like at a 포장마차 or a 고깃집.
Yeah.
I like that. That's kind of cool. You know.
I hear like the parties during the Busan Film Festival are pretty dope, but it's not like You know what I mean? Like they basically it's a party down all the what do you call it? The hetjip,
I see.
like
Yeah.
the Pojangmatcha alley.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, this is getting drunk here. And then, oh, why is this famous actor
Yeah.
here? You know?
I've been to that one a couple years, the Busan one. They do have parties hosted by different soseokseos and stuff like that. But I think they kind of are respectful of each other and they pick a night. So
Right.
the year I went, yeah.
Okay. Today is, well, fucking.
Yeah, Sidus
Sidus's night.
party this
Yeah.
night here, and the next night.
You know
was
what?
somewhere else.
All right. All you Korean party promoters, you guys are missing out.
Yeah, Korean culture doesn't have like a big party scene, you know? It's mostly gatherings and like you do heshik. It's like dinners.
Right.
But nothing like rowdy and like exciting. I
Yeah.
feel like.
I think you guys are missing out, party promoters. You know what I mean? Have exclusive VIP
That's
after
not a bad idea.
parties.
It's not a bad idea.
You know what I mean? And then obviously like the celebrities are gonna probably get in for free.
Or they get gift bags. or
Right.
Like-
But then everyone else that wants to join, they'll have a limited number of tickets and have you guys should, man.
Yes, there were some bangers.
Yeah, why am I giving you the ideas? You know?
Well, we're already at like an hour and a half now.
What?
So we'll probably
Really?
we don't want to take too much more of your time. So
I feel like we talked
hour and
about
20 minutes in.
Naengmyun and Will Smith for the
Yeah,
entire
Yeah.
We'll have
And
to.
how as a Chicago native,
Oh yeah.
you went New York pizza all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to have you back then, so you can finish your Pyongyang Naengmyun story.
Sounds good.
So-
No, you know what? I'm gonna go eat next time you come back.
yeah.
I'm gonna have had at least 2-3 tries
Okay.
at different naengmyeon spots that you have
I'll recommend you.
recommend, and then I'll be like, okay, dude, and I'll give you a rundown of which ones I liked more because of X, Y, and Z.
Got it.
And then I'll be
Sounds
like,
good.
guys, I'm turning.
Yeah. And if you're not turned by then, you're just hopeless.
Yeah. Hopeless. 희망이 없어요.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything you want to plug? Anything like your social medias or your anything, music, anything coming out? Like, feel free to just say, "No, let's end this now." And then we can end it.
I have nothing to plug today, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But something fun will probably come out before June, I think.
Okay.
Maybe a song. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by. Seriously.
여러분,
fun.
존박이었습니다.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.